Afternoon, evening, good day. Welcome to another draft on this fine channel of mine, of ours, of everyone. First pick in this one, which is an Amonkhet draft. I think we 7 wins the last 2, so we're on a bit of a roll. We have, well, if you saw my last one, you'll know I wax lyrical and jizz happily over Gust Walker, but I'll probably take Resilient Kenra. It's a good 2-drop, better than Gust Walker, I begrudgingly say. Aside from that, Labyrinth Guardian is great, Spring to Mind's fine, Vitalist is good, but I think Kenra is the clear pick here. Ooh, a resilient Kenra shall be joined by a glory-bound Initiate. A very solid rare. I see that there is an uncommon missing from this pack. The only other consideration, I suppose, is the Monitor and Final Reward, but in a very aggressive set, a 2-mana 3/1 which can become a 4/4 lifelink. Just a very, very good card. It's not a busted rare, but it's certainly one worth taking here. Will I regret my Gust Walker non-pickup? After what seems like an age, we get a Hope Tender passed to us, which is it's the pretty clear pick here. Binding Mummy is a good card as well, but Hope Tender, if we're already in green, is just a better 2-drop and certainly the pick here. Well, the fourth pick's quite an easy one as well. We have a River Hoopoe, which is by far the best card in the pack. It means we're hedging from our green-white start. I suppose Desert's the only other consideration, but it's not really a consideration. The Hoopoe's a fantastic card. I guess we hope the Spring to Mind wheels now. Splashable as well, this. It's certainly the pick. And with that in mind, the blue becomes ever more attractive, and Vizier of the Anointed is a very good 4-drop. We've got nothing. Well, we have the Resilient Kenra with which it goes, so ignore my madness. So I'm going to certainly pick that up here. I suppose Hieroglyphic Illumination and the Prowler and the Desert are also decent cards, probably in that order. Maybe not quite that order. I'm babbling. I'm going to take the Vizier. And straight from the Vizier into presumably an Evolving Wilds. Not an exciting pick, but good mana is always important, especially in draft where you generally have shite mana. Lethal Sting's a decent card, nothing else really comes close. My initial thought there was excellent to consign to oblivion, but Sunset Pyramid, even though it is a very, very, very fast format, Sunset Pyramid is a particularly good value card. As long as you've got some sort of defensive speed, having one of these in your deck can really give you the late game push to get over the line. So having multiple of them is a recipe for disaster. Multiple cards like this, but I think the first one's just nice to pick up. Beneath the Sands is looking to be the pick here. I do like what Approach of the Second Sun offers in a slow deck, but again, if I'm going to be... I just don't want to play a slow deck, is I suppose the message there. I'm going to take the Beneath the Sands. Kudo always gets cut. Oh, Spring to Mind did wheel. Oh, so did Naga Vitalist. Bloody hell, that's a difficult one, Governor. I'm going to take the Spring to Mind. It's uncommon, so few of them will be opened, and I would really like one in the deck. Gives us a lot of opportunity to splash as well, whereas I'm hoping I pick up another Vitalist. But good signs for the green-blue. Assuming we're taking out the Glory Brand Initiate here, I think I'd rather have one Sharpshooters than a Prowler. We just seem to have good 2-mana cards already. Prowler's better in green-black. Let's take the Sharpshooter. And let's take the Ipnu Rivulet as well, more so for what it offers in terms of desert payoffs as opposed to its own backdoor or victory condition. I guess Blur of Blades is better than these two. Oh, there we go. Nice little Prowler after all. I presume it's the pick over Wonder in Death, despite us being able to splash and it being great. And Blighted Bat to finish the pack. So, we have a decent pack one. It's not the not the sexy colour pair of the format, but certainly a good start. Lay Claim's what I'm going to take here. I know Unquenchable Thirst is a viable consideration, but if we are playing a slow deck like this with some ramp, then 7-mana Mind Control is exactly where we want to be. The exact same argument I made there can be made for Sifter Worm instead of Lay Claim. I think I'm going to take Sifter Worm because of the ability to have diverse threats. I bloody love another lay claim, and I'll attack anyone who says otherwise. But the diversity Sifterworm offers is probably about the same on the card front. It's just really fun to play as well, especially when you scry into the lay claim. Here we go, we picked up the Vitalist. I guess the Gate to the Afterlife isn't quite what we're going for in Standard, in Draft, by being great fun to play back in Standard times. Don't know what this card does. Now I do. A second Spring to Mind or a Lay Claim. I think I'm going to take the second Lay Claim. It's just a very powerful late game card. If the first pack's anything to go by, we could wheel the Spring to Mind, and we already have Beneath the Sands and one Spring to Mind and the Vitalist, and the Hope Tender. So having the 7 mana payoffs, especially with a Sifter Worm, look particularly sexy here. This deck's shaping up quite well. Ish Bin Genius. I think I will take up the Spring to Mind instead of the Essence Scatter. Again, Essence Scatter is a perfectly good card, and it's nice to keep up. And it works well with a Spring to Mind, actually, especially the Mind bit. But with these 7 mana plays, I'm picking up anything to get us there. It works out well. Hooded Brawler's a very good pickup here. I know we're passing up on several deserts. We don't have too many desert payoffs, and with the 7 mana plays we're picking up, we're not that likely to be cycling them. Hooded Brawler's just a strong 3, but I'm destined to lead. Let's go with it. Probably to say the same here again. Instead of a Hashep Oasis, getting this second Hooded Brawler. It's not our standard game plan to beat him down, but a 3 mana 5/4 can do just that. Second Vitalist is pretty clear pickup. Second Beneath the Sands, probably not going to play it. With that in mind, actually, we could just take the Stinging Shot. Our removal, well, we do have 2 lay claims. I think with 2 Spring to Mind, forget it. I'm not going to try and outsmart myself. The more 7 mana cards, the merrier, I think. I think I'll take a Striped Riverwinder here. We can always cycle it if we don't get there. What a waste of a pick. Center's Deliverance. And finish with a Trespasser's Curse. Another good pack. The Ominous Sphinx looks like the ominous and only pick for this pack. We're miles away from Never to Return, despite the double Spring to Mind and Beneath the Sands. The only other consideration, I suppose, aside from the cartouche, is the Avon Wind Guide. I don't think that's utterly madness. It works well with the Vizier, which may not be getting in otherwise. How many cycling or discard outlets do we have? Well, we have a few. Alright, we have enough of that to just be the pick. Again, I'm just trying to outsmart myself. Well, ramming up Excavators is great for Cube, especially when you like playing land destruction, as I bloody do. But I think we're going to take the Essence Scatter here. It's comparable to Hieroglyphic, probably a little better, but we've got the card draw through the Spring to Mind, so I'm hopeful having an unconditional creature counter will work out well. Driven to Despair. Now that could be what we're looking for with the splash on the Despair side. I'm not really too bothered about the Driven, or indeed the Despair, actually. I just can't see us playing a Shimmer Scale Drake, and certainly not on the other cards. Let's take Driven to Despair as a tentative hedge. 4 mana Hieroglyphic Illumination seems fine here. Well, this is a good pack for someone, sadly not for us. I think we will take the final reward though, now I see it. If we're going to be playing Driven to Despair, then the Black Splash looks, if not free, then certainly quite easy to do. And we are missing removal, so that's not a bad pickup at all, actually. Fetid Pools is a nice pickup here, especially with our Black Splash even. Shame to miss out on an aerial guide with some bigger creatures, but I suppose if Sifter Worm can't get in, then you're probably in a problematic place anyway, so easy Fetid Pools. Nothing for me here. I guess I'll take a Cycling. No, I'll ruin someone's day by taking the Minotaur, because Mize. Finally get ourselves a Desert, which is effectively free here. Nothing else we want. Nothing for us here. Let's take the Seeker. Quarry Hall is the only thing we could consider playing, but most likely will not. And Wings of Rebuke could get in as we pick up the dregs now. Seer, as it's blue. Oh, a second sharpshooters. I'm not sure we're going to play the first one, but we're certainly not going to play the cultivator. And finish with the mommy. Right, let's have a look what we got. We are certainly not playing that land configuration. Let's just get rid of them all apart from this for now. So I think we probably get away with 16 lands given the amount of ramp that we have. I don't think we want a Winds of Rebuke. It doesn't work too well here. Pyramid, I guess it's somewhat superfluous given we've got a Hoopo and 2 Spring to Mines. But the mind itself is pretty much a win more element. I suppose we can get rid of the Quarry Hauler first and probably the Vizier. Yeah, the Vizier's not really putting anything in, aside from the Kenra. So that can get tough folk. I think I'm liking this with 16 lands. The only downside being, of course, that well, 16 lands isn't very many. But we could just cut a sharpshooter and play 17. I think I'd rather have the extra consistency. We'll flood out a bit. But we do have a lot of card draw to make use of the extra mana. Do you have any extra win more cards? No. Let's get in at the desert. I think we're going to want the rivulet. No, I don't think we are. There's not really any cause for milling. If it's a long game, we're probably going to be close to milling ourselves, given the amount of card draw we've got. So we want 1 black for the purpose of searching it out. We want more green than blue. It's probably looking like this. So 7, 8 blue sources, 8, 9 green sources, and 3 black sources. Might want 1 more blue. Yeah, I think we want 1 more green instead of the blue. Right, this looks good to me. If you disagree and think I'm raving mad, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, see you in the games. Round 1 of this exciting Rampy Deck draft commences against Silontka. We have a keep, albeit not a particularly exciting one, but potentially a winner. We've got our splash colour in the black, and we're presumably going to go into spring as soon as we can. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs, no problem whatsoever. I think the obvious choice here is the Hope Tendor, as our opponent plays Those Who Serve, which I'm delighted to see. So we are going to be playing Spring. I presume we're going to be playing Spring. There we go. And into the blue, and hopefully that will set us up for a bit more late game action. I almost think it's worth playing Feral Prowler here. Right, well, these could be problematic, but we're not quite at that level yet. I'm going to play the River Hoopo, I think. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just going to play the Hooded Brawler. I realise it's a terrible blocker against Those Who Serve, but it's going to get in for 5. Unless our opponent starts playing deserts, we're okay here. And the Hope Tender can get us up. Aerial Guide, right. I'm glad I played the Hooded Brawler now. Beneath the Sands into River Hoopo is not exciting, but it's what I'm probably going to play. Actually, I'm probably going to play Beneath the Sands into... I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to attack and exert with this to get in for 5. I think it's very important we play Beneath the Sands to leave up the possibility of excuse me, to leave up the possibility of Sifter Worm as soon as possible. Let's get a blue source here and pass the turn. I'd rather leave up the Essence Scatter. with the intention of not casting unless I absolutely have to, so we can get down Sift the Worm next turn. Because we are on a bit of a clock here if the opponent ever does draw this desert. Ancient Crab, that's okay. Doesn't really do much. I'm not going to counter that. Yeah. Okay, so the Hoopoe stops some damage. Hoopoe Brawler's probably the way to go here. And defend. So we're going to take 2 in the air this turn. If the opponent ever does find his desert, things are looking ugly for us. Combat, and he's thinking about it. Block. Can't see it living, but it's not the end of the world. Sifter Worm's still how I think we're going to win this, if at all. Well, in we go. Impeccable timing, that's absolutely fine. It's odd that I'd have killed the Hoopoe for sure there. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, I'm feeling a lot more confident about this game now. And I'm probably... I don't need to play the Feral Prowler. I'd rather leave up Hieroglyphic, Illumination, or Hoopoe. So I'm going to pass the turn as is. It's not the end of the world. We can gain 2 life from it. Opponent in for 4 points of damage. I think we're going to play it like this. That works for us. Didn't sack that in the hope of drawing a land. And now I'm going to play the green. And play this. So the Sifter Worm comes down. Not the greatest, but Beneath the Sands at least gets us 3 life. And we pass the turn. Opponent gets in for 4 and plays an Aven Initiate. Right. We have Beneath the Sands into Hieroglyphic into not much really actually. So we're getting in with a Sifter and we're definitely getting in with a Hooded Brawler. Opponent probably should throw away the Crab here more so than the Fall of Forgotten Pharaoh. Both are practically useless in this juncture, but one of them at least has the potential of pinging us down. Never mind. Okay, so he's all about stopping the damage. We're going to play a Feral Prowler is effectively useless here. So I think we're probably going to play Hieroglyphic Illumination on his turn. We need to be able to sack the Hoopoe here. Sorry, on our turn, the Hieroglyphic Illumination, and we have a Ominous Sphinx, which is excellent, and a Final Reward. I guess we're just going to play the Fetid Pools and pass the turn. We're not dead, but we're getting scarily close. We can survive this turn. So we go to 9. We die to a trick. We don't die to that. And the opponent plays an Aven Wind Guy, which I'm going to have to counter. Land. Not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're 1 mana off where we need to be. So we're getting in for 7. Is there any way we can survive this? I guess Ominous Sphinx into Cycle's our best hope. So I presume that's all we can go for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to attack. And play the Ominous Sphinx. So we're going to have to hit a cycler here. It's a shame we just took a bit too much damage from the aerial guide. As opponent sets up to attack us, of course, any removal for the Ominous Sphinx, which it looks to be forthcoming, will see us gone. The opponent has a particularly exciting deck, but it's white-blue, typical white-blue flyers, which works out well against big dumb ground creatures, especially the hooded brawlers that exerted to their own, well, to my not winning. But we're still alive. We're alive and kicking here. Opponent plays a Cartouche of Solidarity. Does means nothing. Right, goes for the attack. Okay, so let's cycle this now and see if we can hit anything. Presumably we'll go here, so one more cycle please. Ooh, that's a good one. That, my friends, is what we call luck, skill, and potentially victory. Oh, final reward this. Get down the resilient Kenra on the 3-2. And in for, hopefully, a very lucky victory. Oh, beautiful. I did not think I was going to get that one. Fantastic. See you in the next one. After the excitement of our first victory, we go straight on to round 2 with a couple of lay claims in hand and an Ominous Sphinx to hopefully get the board nice and safe. Our opponent plays a Ruthless Sniper. I'm keen to not yet cycle the lay claims, such as their strength. So instead I'll play the Evolving Wilds, get a black mana, and hope he doesn't have a 2-drop. And let's go for it now. Probably going to get a second green here. No, let's go for the second blue. That was a mistake. I think I should have gone for the second green. That was poorly thought out, I'm afraid. Maybe costly. Hopefully not. Opponent plays a Kenra Scrapper. Good card. And Naga Vitalist isn't bad at all. But I'm going to go with the Ominous Sphinx. Just get something on board. If it dies, it dies. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that, my friends, is how to look at Magic. So Scrapper can go through for 2, potentially 4. Sniper's blocked by it. And I can't think of a black removal spell that kills it for 3. Opponent gets him for 2. And plays a Firebrand Archer. Okay. We are... I think I'm going to play the Desert the Indomitable. I don't want to get in here for damage. I tempted to just cycle it, and play the land and hope the Vitalist lives, but if the Vitalist dies and we don't draw a land next turn, we look absolutely foolish. Feeling quite good about that now. Okay. We've got 2 mind controls coming up the next 2 turns, and if that's not enough to win us the game, then we're just not meant to win. As is Sunset Pyramid. I'm not too worried about that. I'm certainly not going to take control of it here. I've got my own Sunset Pyramid, and cards aren't particularly the problem here. He's also short on mana. So we're going to go straight into the lay claim of the Kenra Scrapper. And pass the turn. No attack. Lethal Sting, okay. Gets in a few points of damage to us. I don't think it's terminal or too worrisome just yet, especially when you draw a Sifter Worm as if by magic. Guess we can take it like this. And now I can certainly get in for 2. Lovely cup of tea. So it's always quite good to draw Sifter Worm on turn 7 when you've played all your manas. And it cycles Ceradon, hopefully uses that mana here. Then I'll be hideously ahead. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, it's only 1. I thought it was 2. Not as good, but still, I'm perfectly happy for this to happen. We draw a Hooded Brawler. I'd rather spring than get the Feral Prowler. Certainly don't need to be laying claim yet. Get in for Exert. And smash in for 7. Play the Hooded Brawler. Let's spring. Guess we'll take another green. Why not? Or maybe a blue. Again, no real reasons why for either now. And we're in a fantastically dominant position, even with a Magma Spray. Opponent plays his 4th land. Cartouche of Ambition. Excellent. Good for him. Scrapper gets smaller. Good enough to lay claim to now, or one presumes, as the opponent gets in for 3 with lifelink. So we're going to get in for 7. Steal the lifelinker and play a land. There's something I didn't see. Of course, it's enchant creature you control, so the ambition falls off. Shouldn't matter too much. The opponent on hopeful mode. I guess he needs to go land into Lethal Sting, which still would mean he loses. And that should be that. A big 7/7 trampler normally wins the game, and it will do here. Fantastic. Kid is back, Kid is gone. Round 3 against Gatlos Do. We have a perfectly serviceable hand, which we will perfectly happily keep. Opponent mirrors our thought process, albeit not our deck back. I like that one. Bloodlust Inciter. Well, that's probably not the best card to meet with a Sunset Pyramid, but it is a pretty good one to meet with a Feral Prowler. Ketra's Avenger. That's annoying. It's going to be a difficult one to win. But the Sifter Worm should help. I was about to say we need to draw some form of ramp sooner rather than later. And Beneath the Sands qualifies quite well as that. If he plays land Kenra Scrapper, though, now I'm pretty certain we're not going to win this one. Same if he plays another Ketra's Avenger. Oh, bloody hell. So I guess he's going to get in for 7 here. And I think we're going to just take the opportunity to soak up some life and get a card. Not ideal. Let's play Beneath the Sands, get ourselves a black mana. We basically need to go Sift a Worm into Lay Claim here to have any realistic chance of winning. Yeah, Kenra Scrapper means we are very close to losing already. As does that. And such is the power of the aggressive deck, as you may have seen in the last battle. I was this man, now I am the man who counters the on-crop crasher, but I don't think it's going to matter. I'm going to take 4. Yeah, I lose. Let's just see if he sees the line of attack with everything. It's a difficult one to see, but I have faith in Gatlos do. Yes, he does. Defeat. On to the next. Spinning Rhino is our next opponent. We draw an averagey opening hand. Certainly not helped by the lack of blue mana, but certainly helped by the Beneath the Sands as we play a 2 mana 2/2. I'm pretty certain both lay claims are not going to get cast this game, unfortunately. I'm hopeful for a blue source here though, for sure. The Rhino keeps going. Spring's good. So we want Spring first. No attack will make him exert. Exert he does, in for 3. His follow-up is a Disposal Mommy? Looks that way. Disposal Mommy indeed. No problem. Not too worried about that. Blue. The other blue. So we're at 7 mana territory. I don't want to cycle Lay Claim here. I would rather just play an Ominous Sphinx and cycle it when that's out. Opponent will get in for 2 here. Plays an Uketra's Avenger. My turn. Draw the blue. Right. Out comes the Ominous Sphinx. If I'm a betting man, I'd say it's going to get compulsory rested. But I still like playing it here, leaving up a Lay Claim, trying to get some sort of free, I say free value, but value of some sort. Opponent plays Edifice of Authority. Well, that's going to be Lay Claimed rather swiftly. And we just pass the turn. Next turn, probably playing Hope Tender, getting a counter on the Edifice. Hope, well, I was right. Fan Bearer and Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. Double exert. We're not in the interest of doing nothing here, so sorry, throwing this away. Okay, Lay Claim's pretty good. We're gonna go Lay Claim something. I don't know what. Probably the Fan Bearer. We've got plenty of manas. And then we'll have to tap the Disposal Mummy. Steward of Solidarity. Well, that would have been better to get, but alas, no. So we're counting on our... Oh, what's he got? Jeru's Resolve. Okay. So, it's an odd play, I think, from the opponent. I'd go as far as to say that. He's effectively thrown away a card there. But Sunscourge Champion. Okay, let's get the Ketra's Avenger out the way. And let's tap down the Disposal Mummy. Still going to keep the Ominous Sphinx in play. Turn Cycling into an actual card. Hooded Brawler out. Means we can start getting in for damage. And pass the turn. Warrior cometh this way. So let's stop the Gust Walker coming in. Let's tap the Ketra's Avenger. And probably have to trade the Sunscourge Champion for Kenra or a Hope Tender, presumably a Hope Tender. Oh, we place a Dauntless Aven. Well, maybe we're not getting in with our boy Hooded Brawler after all. That's an annoying one, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to have to stay on the defensive here. I guess let's go for the Gust Walker now. Fanbearer is going to have to target the Dauntless Aven for obvious reasons, as otherwise the tap and exert's not looking particularly good. And opponent will get in for 3 with the Avenger here. I think that's probably it. If we go the aggressive route though, I'm not really in the business of taking damage here. Unfortunately, he's hit 5 lands, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we've hit 10. So despite our 2 mind controls, we are struggling to keep up here. We're going to need to draw something. And that will not cut it. That is a bit of a shitter, if I'm honest with you, dear friends. So tap down Gust Walker, hope for the best, expect the worst. And you can force this to get rid of the Sphinx here. He discards a land, plays his Sunscourge Champion, gains a load of life. And I think I am going to just get this now. I'm going to need it. Beneath the Sands. Cycle. Feral Prowler is not enough, is it? Nope. On to the next one. That was a bit of a shitter. Oh dear. Well, our auspicious start was met with an inauspicious third and fourth games. We lost both of them, but we're still live. I think the deck's pretty good, as long as it doesn't draw all or no lands. And as long as we don't miss here with a land, we're looking pretty good. I guess we're probably going to have to play Driven next turn, so he doesn't play anything. Opponent gets in for 1, sorry, and plays a Fan Bearer. Well, let's cycle Driven. I'm sure he's not going to block here. If indeed he has Supernatural Stamina, we get low now. We draw a Fetid Pools, which is probably the best draw we could come up with there, so that's pretty good. And we're back in it. And it sends in the Fan Bearer and plays Those Who Serve, which a happily large amount of people are playing at the moment. I'm going to have to spring to hit the land and pass the turn. Opponent's in for 3. I'm going to block the Festering Mommy here. I think our Kenra has served its purpose. Grave Digger, okay. Land is good. Let's go for Ominous Sphinx. The Mommy comes out. Will he tap us down? I hope he does. Good. So we're taking 4. We're going to play Prowler and Brawler and not attack. I don't think. No. Good. I think we've stabilised quite nicely here. Ooh, excellent news for a tap here. And we're going to go block, block. I think. Yeah, I do not need the Hooded Brawler to win this one. Impeccable timing. That's absolutely fine. So Despair can take 2 of his cards. Spare into Beneath the Sands isn't too keen. I think I'm just going to nag a Vitalist and Beneath the Sands to hit my land. What have we got? Let's take another blue. No attack, make him tap me down. And things are looking fine again. I'd rather get his last 2 cards with Despair at some point. Obviously he's got only spells in hand. Fanbearer tapping down the Ominous Sphinx. Very aggressive line from our opponent. Happy to block the Festering Mommy. I'd rather save damage. I'm not that bothered about the mana. June Beetle, excellent. That's an interesting one, isn't it? I'm just going to leave up everything here. It's as transparent as can be. Doesn't mean you can play around it too easily. I think I'm going to cycle Lay Claim. I'd rather play the Striped Riverwinder. Let's get rid of the 2 power here. Beneath the Sands. Cycle that as well. I think a land's fine here. That's fine. And block the 1. Miasmic Mummy. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to get rid of a land here. Opponent gets rid of Splendid Agony. Luminek. My turn. That's not what I wanted to draw. Right. The Riverwinder. Awkward as anything. I'm going to play the Hooded Brawler. I may as well play the Resilient Kenra, which I shall. And waste its beautiful power. No attack. I think as soon as I get down the Striped Riverwind, I'll have this, but as soon as implies I will be getting it down, which is not in any way certain yet. Opponent continues beating us down with his crappy white-black creatures, but seems to be doing the job. Never. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I think we are beaten here by, fucking hell, a white-black pile. Oh well. There's no accounting for taste, and I'm afraid that we do not do particularly well in this draft. Let's see what else he's got in hand so I can feel particularly salty. Impeccable timing and in a catcher's name. Well, I was probably going to die anyway. Bit of a shitter, but there we go. We lost quite easily, which is a shame because we started out quite well with 2 wins, but we ended up losing the next 3 in pretty quick fashion. Perhaps my abandonment of red-white was not as wise as it could be. Thank you for watching. Apologies for my foul language, it will get fouler. And hope for a bit more, I wouldn't say luck, but ability. Oh dear, 250 gems, what a shitter. Well, hope for more in the next one. Ciao for now.